Hello and welcome into another edition of Eagle Sports Talk on the Oklahoma Wesleyan Network. We're getting to meet two new coaches today. We have with us Caty Reeves from the softball team and Scott Seymour, the head coach of the men's golf team. Now, coaches, I wanted to ask you, it's not quite the off season anymore, moving into that preseason phase. First with you, Caty, what have you guys been doing to prepare for this upcoming season?
Yeah, so we've been practicing for a little over a week now, and we've been focusing on kind of knocking off the rust from having our break over Christmas and really kind of getting back into each individual's skill set, and now kind of focusing on the team dynamics of it, the strategy side, the making sure we're all on the same page so that when we get to our first game, it's smooth, it's seamless, and we can communicate well as a team.
Yeah. Now, has the weather had any effect on your guys? Obviously, probably not doing a whole lot of outside stuff, but maybe some cage work inside. Has that kind of been the focus?
Yes, it really has been. We were able to get outside last week, but even yesterday we had to cut practice short a little bit due to the weather. But it allows us an opportunity to work on some more fundamentals when we're inside or just in the cage, and kind of take away the big picture and really focus on the process of getting better and minimizing some mistakes that we can make when we get too focused on the result.
Yeah. Now, for you, Scott, what have you guys been doing lately to try to get prepared for your season starting here in about a month?
So kind of the same thing with Coach Reeves. We just started this past week at the beginning of the semester. Towards the end of the last semester, we did have a little bit of off-season time with workouts and just kind of trying to, get a little bit stronger for this semester. But we started this week with practice. It's been kind of difficult with weather, especially yesterday. We practiced in a little bit of sleet, but we're getting better. So just this week, trying to, like Coach Reeves said, knock the rust off, get ready. We still have about 6 more weeks before our first tournament, so hopefully the weather gets a little bit better and we can get out there a little bit longer.
Yeah, so walk us through a little bit. What does a golf practice look like? I think people are a little bit more familiar with some of our traditional sports and how they practice, but is it just a matter of getting swings in for your golfers, or what do they do to prepare?
Yeah, so it is a little bit different. Like, we don't have a gym that we can practice in, or like a softball field that we can practice in. And we don't have a set amount of time. We have practice at 4 to 6, like a basketball team usually would. So basically, whenever a student is done with their classes for the day, they head out to the golf course, whichever one I'm at that day. And I usually have a drill or two for them to do, and everybody does them. And once they're done, then they're kind of on their own. And when everybody's done with each of the drills, then I'll come work with them on the range. It's kind of just trying to get as many swings as you can. Whatever aspect of your golf game is lacking at the time, try to put a little bit more time and effort into that. But I try to help as much as I possibly can, but it's hard to get to each individual player because golf is an individual sport, whereas, all the other sports are teams, so it's hard to get to each one. So I just have all of my guys and the girls on the range right now trying to get as many swings as I can.
That's a good way to get going. Now, getting back to you, Caty, you guys get started off here pretty soon. I believe February 8th, you guys will be down in Fort Worth. Tell us a little bit about that event you guys got to start off.
Yes, we really enjoy going to this tournament. About a half our team is from Texas, so we try to get a little bit closer to some of the parents down there just to start off and chase that warmer weather a little bit. But it's a great tournament. There's always some ranked teams. We play a ranked team while we're down there, and so it really gives us that opportunity to get on the field and really test out what we think we have going and play a lot of individuals to really see, who's going to be in our starting lineup as we move forward into conference, and just finally be able to get on the field together and have that excitement going.
Yeah, so looking at your roster, I just had a scan of it. It seemed like last year you had a fair amount of underclassmen playing, in a season where you guys were a little bit over 500, but this year you're going to have a good core of seniors. Can you tell us a little bit about that group?
Yes, we have 8 seniors this year, and it will be hard to lose them, but I know that we're going to have the leadership this year, and they all want to end with a bang. So some of our key players from last year are seniors this year, and as long as we all stay healthy and continue to work hard together, I think they're going to really end on a high note. And they're seniors in our most important positions, in our leadoff spot, in the batting order, behind the plate, one of our pitchers, our shortstop. So it's good to have that kind of commitment to this season and being able to continue on, knowing that once they're gone, they want to have those people behind them just ready to fill in.
Sure, it's always good to have that experience. We've seen with the women's basketball team, a big senior group there, and they're surprising a lot of people, having a ton of success. Now, Scott, taking a look over at your rosters, you want to pour over those for us? Give us some of the highlights, who might be some of the impact players for you?
Yeah, so this whole year. We've got 3 seniors on the team right now, and we have experience from last year. One of our players from last year's top 5, which was a nationally ranked team, is back. So we did lose quite a bit on the team, but like I said, we're trying to practice, get as many swings as we can, because that's all you can do to get better. But right now, our one player that we have returning from last year's top 5 is Jack Pritchard. He's actually from Manchester, England, and he's kind of leading the team right now, him and one of our seniors, Nick Waite. Nick's been here, for 4 years. He's actually in the master's program right now, still with another semester of eligibility. So those two are kind of leading the men's team right now. And then we also have on the women's side, Kaylee Hacker. She's a junior. She still has another year of eligibility left to go. She's kind of leading our younger classmen when it comes to the women. We have a freshman and 2 sophomores on the women's side, so we're very young. This past semester in our fall, Kaylee did win a tournament, and so she's kind of leading the team, getting out there, making sure they're practicing, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, and that's kind of what we got to look forward to this semester.
All right, now I kind of wanted to have both of you guys give us a little bit of a background. Scott, I guess we'll start with you. How did you get to Oklahoma Wesleyan, and what, playing experience do you have out there on the course?
I actually went to Oklahoma Wesleyan, attended here, played all 4 years. I started, I guess you don't really start on the golf team. I played every single one of our varsity tournaments from my freshman year into my senior year, and we had some success my junior and senior year. Played in the NCCAA national tournament. NCCAA, sorry, not NCAA. And we had some success there. And then I kind of helped out with the team a little bit, as much as I could my senior year, with our coach, help recruiting a little bit like that. So kind of got, figured out what I'm supposed to do and how you recruit, different things like that. And then one thing led to another after coaching changes, and I came back and they hired me on this past year, for about the latter part of the semester. So that kind of actually helped me towards this year. I kind of figured out what the job is, what I need to do on my own, and that helped me for this year to kind of come in and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, kind of not jumping into something I don't know what I'm doing. So that last part of the semester really helped me out a lot. So that's just kind of some of the background of why I'm here.
Well, cool. It's good to always get to know our coaches around here. Now, Katie, what's your background look like? How did you get to Oklahoma Wesleyan?
Yes, I grew up in the West Coast, so I'm from Oregon originally, and played college softball down at California Baptist University. Played there all 4 years, and then once I was done playing, my head coach that I played for, Mike Smith, ended up taking a job at McNeese State University down in Louisiana. So he offered me the opportunity to come out there and coach with him my first year, which was great. Learned a lot from the other side of playing and getting to continue to be one of my mentors. And so I was with him for a year and a half, and then the position here at Oklahoma Wesleyan opened up, and through some mutual contacts and Coach Parker with the baseball team, who was actually at Cal Baptist when I was a player there, I was able to move up here and take over as head coach just over 5 years ago now. So we'll be going on to my 6th season, and really enjoyed it.
Well, good. It's nice to see that you've been here for so long. I wanted to kind of dig into your coaching philosophy a little bit now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of instill that. What, in your ideal world, what should a softball team look like?
Oh, man, that's so loaded. So we try to focus a lot on, moving past mistakes. We know our game is a game of failure, and we know that we're not always going to be perfect, but how do you react afterwards? We focus on controlling the controllables, so hustling on and off the field, being in the right place. You can't make a play if you're not in the right place to begin with. And then being able to just kind of rely on one another. I mean, maybe one day our pitcher's struggling, our defense has the opportunity to pick them up, or it's the opposite, and our pitchers have carried us before in the past. But we want to be able to rely on all of our attributes and try to take away the focus on the results as much and just worry about what do we need in that moment to be the most successful. And this year especially, we've been focusing on scoring runs. You mentioned we were just over 500 last year, and we improved everything offensively from the year previous. We just couldn't score runs. So we had the people on base not getting them across, which is pretty important in winning some games. So this year that we've really focused on, okay, as soon as somebody gets on base, how are we going to score them? Whether that's giving up your own at bat and trying to play a little small ball, or if it's stealing, being a little bit more aggressive. So we've kind of evolved. I know my philosophy has evolved as I continue to learn. I'm hoping I'm always changing and always getting better, and apologize sometimes to my first couple of years of players as I've grown through some of those pains. But I'm really excited about this group. I think they've bought into that selfless action and being able to really work for one another and see the result. I mean, even in our inner squad on Saturday, we scored 16 runs in 7 innings, which as the pitching coach is kind of hard to hear, but from an offensive standpoint, that's what we're looking for to be successful this year.
So it seems like a lot of that execution side is what you're trying to go out and do. Now, Scott, I feel like there are some similarities between baseball, softball, and golf. A lot of it has to do with mental preparation and execution. How are you working with your athletes on things like that?
One of the things I just kind of wanted to talk about is how much experience really helps on the golf course. One of the things is in junior golf, there's the kids that play college golf are always used to being, the best. Whatever tournament they go to, nobody there can shoot within, 10, 15 strokes of them. They're used to walking onto the range and looking around and, I'm the best one here. I'm clearly going to win. When you get to college, especially your freshman year, you get on the range and every single one of those kids was in that same spot that they were in junior golf. So now it's a little bit intimidating when you come in as a freshman. So one of the main things that can be said for that is experience. And I tell my freshmen that all the time, if you play bad early, it can be intimidating. College golf is a lot different than it is playing junior golf. But experience, that's the main thing I can, tell them. Just as many tournaments as you can get. Eventually it's going to start clicking and you're going to start playing better. You're going to get used to it. The pressure's not going to be there. But that's one thing that I'm definitely telling my younger guys on the team, and the older guys, I'm having them, reiterate that. I'm just saying it gets better, and, it's going to start clicking here pretty soon.
Sure. Now, Scott, I don't know if we touched on this. Your first tournament down at South Padre Island in South Texas, kind of a fun way to start the season. Can you tell us a little bit about that event?
Yeah, so like Coach Reeves was saying, early on in the year, we try to go south as much as possible because the weather's going to be a little bit nicer, and I'm trying to go as south, literally as far south as you can possibly go for our tournament. So we're really excited about that. We've got a great field. Some conference teams are going to be there. Some ranked teams are going to be there as well. So it's going to be a really good tournament to kind of see where we match up this first semester or the second semester. So I'm really excited about that. I'm taking the men's and women's team there. So we're going to get a good idea for both of them. And it's just going to be a fun tournament all around. It's a 13-hour drive, getting the drive down there with the whole team. We'll make some stops in between. But we're really looking forward to that.
Definitely a long drive, but definitely a nice place to be in February. Now, Coach Reeves, we mentioned your tournament in Fort Worth in February, but when are you guys at home for the first time? When's people's first chance to see the Lady Eagles out there?
Our first home series is the following weekend. So we bring in Grandview University out of Iowa. It will be the first time they get to be on dirt for their spring season, so we have a little advantage there. But they're currently ranked in the top 25. They're always a good contest for us. We'll play them 4 times in 2 days to really kind of see what we can do and how we can make game plan adjustments game to game. They have a solid number 1 pitcher that, she's tough to beat. And so I know we're going to see her at least twice, and it'll be an opportunity to learn how to make adjustments. And plus, we're excited to be at home. We play quite a few home games in February, and then we hit the road again. So we're looking forward to it and being able to show people what we can do.
Yeah, you guys are getting after it right away. Caty Reeves with the softball team, Scott Seymour with the golf team. Thanks for joining us on Eagle Sports Talk. A reminder, Saturday there is a home basketball game starting at 2. It's Community Appreciation Day. Free bacon, free admission, and free basketball. 2 good teams as the Lady Eagles and Eagles will be taking on St. Mary. So come out and join us for that on Saturday. Until the next time, this has been Eagle Sports Talk on the Oklahoma Wesleyan Sports Network.